I was completely okay and satisfied just cutting grass and making pizzas. And I ran into a Marine recruiter at the mall one day. He's like, why don't you join the Marine Corps? And they said, okay. I said, I have a big fear of the water. Maybe this will help me conquer my fear of the water. I became obsessed with posting on YouTube. I had always loved creating video. I did a little video for my high school. So it was always an interest for me and a passion. I just loved showing people my work and my videos and having them either laugh or cry or smile or whatever, just evoking any type of emotion. Show us your feet. I'm like,
I'll pull out my feet if you pull out yours.
are we showing feet?
Yeah, we're showing feet. Oh my gosh.
So find something that you're absolutely passionate about. For me, fitness is my passion. Everything that I do, everything that I make content about is about fitness or mental health.
Welcome to the Amy Is Show. Today's guest is the one and only Austen Alexander. He is from Florence, Alabama, and joined the Navy in 2013. He spent 7 years defending the United States as a master at arms, specializing in harbor patrol. He joined YouTube in 2016 and today has a whopping 1.4 million subscribers. He focuses on military, fitness, lifestyle, and mindset, and his content has over 3 billion views. He is the co-founder of Operation Good Boy, the Battle Bus, which is fitness on 4 wheels, the Battle Bunker, and Hypercon Games. Austen Alexander, welcome to the Amy Is Show.
Thanks for having me, Amy. I'm super excited to be here.
I am pumped to have you. We have so much to talk about. I've been just like going through all your content and binge watching it for the last couple of days.
Stalking.
And it is literally stalking. I will admit at this point, it is absolutely stalking you.
Research. We'll call it research.
It's for research purposes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So don't look at anything that's in my phone because you are now my wallpaper. Yeah,
Okay.
you're my idol.
Good. That's good.
You are so impressive, though. On a real note here, you have just been doing so many cool things over the last few years, and you're actually really, really incredibly inspiring. And I encourage everybody to go follow you.
Thank you.
Just a few fun facts that I wrote down that I just feel like we need to talk about
Okay.
and unpack a little bit.
Let's hear 'em.
So you've been tased by the Pennsylvania State Trooper Academy.
Ready.
Okay, tell me about this. Like, how did you even get in touch with the Trooper Academy?
So a lot of my videos now are challenge videos, and I, going through boot camp and then going through different A schools and C schools in the Navy, I love the training aspect of it. So I said, why don't we go through State Trooper Academy? So we get there and they said, all right, we got driving for you. We got handcuffing, we have shooting, we have tasing, and I said, wait, what? They said, we're going to tase you. And I said, all right, let's do it. So we go through a whole instructional about being tased. This full 1 day instructional. The worst part is the buildup before it, because all the anticipation, and then finally they said taser, 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 and shot the taser at me, and you have 2 of these sharp, kind of like bolts.
The prongs.
Prongs,
Yeah.
exactly, that go into your back and your glutes, and it just folds you.
Wait a second. Did they have to shoot you in the butt? They had to?
Well, it's either, so they call it splitting the belt, because if they don't, if it lands on your leg, then it'll only be your leg that's paralyzed. So it has to go on your back somewhere and on your below the belt somewhere. So it folds your body. So you're kind of paralyzed.
Wow. Did you fall when this happened? So you got hit by the taser. What happened?
So you have, of course, in a regular scenario, they just fall to the ground, but you have 2 state troopers on the side, training instructors, that hold your arm and guide you to the ground so you don't break your teeth. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, you have this on video, right?
Yes.
It's on YouTube.
Yes,
so you guys
for
got to
sure.
go check this out.
You guys can use it for the show too if you want.
Okay, cool. I may do that. I may
You can do
cut
it.
it in. That would be hilarious. And then you've been OC'd by the Navy, which I had to have you describe to me as pepper spray on steroids.
Yes.
So tell me about this experience.
Oh, so OC is oleresin capsicum, and it's the strongest form of pepper, the most concentrated, and it's developed in a way that it's a gel. It's not a liquid. So when it sticks on you, it sticks on your face. They spray it across the brow. It's a level 1 exposure, and it lasts for probably, the worst of it is 3 hours.
Oh my God.
And then you have another 3 hours of medium to severe pain, and another 3 hours of intense to medium pain. It lasts a long time.
Do you have any tips for someone that gets pepper sprayed in that fashion?
Yes, don't freak out.
Okay.
people tend to, just go physically crazy and like scream and all this stuff because they're panicking because it hurts so bad. It's probably the worst pain ever. And as long as you can just take your mind off of that and focus on what you have to do. I mean, you have to go through an entire mock move, mechanical advantage control hold scenario while being under the influence of that OC on your face.
So for people that are not in the military that are watching the show, what do you mean by that? Like, break that down.
So I was a master at arms in the Navy, naval security, and you have to be trained in takedown maneuvers just so you can take someone down safely if they're being rowdy or if they're drunk on a ship or whatever. So there are 4 mock moves. We call them mock, but it's mechanical advantage control holds that you have to learn to perform in order to take someone down safely. You have to do it in order to be qualified, in order to pass your initial A school training. So they said, okay, well, we don't want to just have these sailors qualified in mock moves. We want to have them do it under the influence of OC.
Oh my gosh.
So
you got to keep your mind right.
Exactly. Because if you are in a situation you have to OC someone and it gets level 2'd back at you or it gets exposed, you're going to be used to that feeling because you've gone through before. And you're able to carry out the mission and take the person down if you need to.
Got it. Wow, this is just so crazy. Okay, and then you also just ran your first marathon.
Yes.
Which you said I think was in the Catalina Islands.
It was.
Okay, tell me about this. You said you didn't train for it either.
I didn't train for it. We worked closely with a company called Brooks Running, and they said, hey, we have a new shoe that we'd like to have you promote. And I said, sure. So I got the shoe, loved it, wore it a little bit, and they said, okay, present us an idea. And I said, I'm going to run a marathon. And they said, are you sure? Like, you don't have to, you don't have to do this. And I said, no, I'm going to run a marathon. So I Googled marathons near me, and Catalina Marathon pulled up. I signed up for it and I did it. And when I got there, the elevation was a lot more than I anticipated. It was like up 4,300 feet of total elevation gain across these 26 miles. Felt like every single mile was just up in the air.
It was no Catalina wine mixer then.
It was
for anybody that gets that reference.
No. It
okay.
was finished just under 6 hours, which is kind of slow, but first marathon I survived. I didn't die.
Well, you're not a small guy either. You're pretty tall. You're big. Are you comfortable saying how tall and heavy you are?
Of course, I'm 6'4", about 240.
Wow. Yeah. I can't even imagine going around 2 blocks, let alone 26 miles. That's impressive.
Yeah, I know. It's
that's amazing.
Well, I do run a little bit, like 2 or 3 miles. Like I worked up to a 10K the other day, which is 6 miles. The most I've ever run in my entire life is 10 miles, and 26 and a half is more than double 10 miles, obviously.
Wow, that's so impressive. Well, I just wanted to kind of bring out some of those fun facts to get the conversation going here and just basically demonstrate for the audience here how impressive you are. I mean, you've done some really, really cool stuff. I mean, as I was going through your content, I was just so enamored just by like the fact that you've gone to some of the hardest schools in the military. So even though you were in the Navy, you also went and tested out several different schools for other branches, such as the Army, et cetera. Give us some examples of some of the schools that you've been to.
Exactly. We usually do between a like 2 to 5 day exposure in these schools. The majority of them being, weeks and weeks and weeks long. Like last year went through Special Forces Assessment and Selection Experience. We were there for 4 days. Normally, I think it's about a 2 or 3 week exposure for the actual students, but we went and got a taste of some of the events that the students have to do, like the STAR course, the obstacle course, the PT
What's the STAR
test.
Course?
I won't talk about it too much because a lot of the information is kind of up in the air, but it is a navigation course where you go, I believe, individually or with a partner, and you have to navigate around the wilderness until you finish. And it's a very, very long ruck. You're carrying lots of gear, probably 45 pounds of dry weight plus your food and your water and your clothes, everything. And you're navigating through swamps, and you're having to manually navigate and use land nav techniques to get yourself there.
Wow. I mean, this is just so crazy. So I want to just quickly get into like a little bit about why you joined the military in the first place. So you were pretty young, right? You were early 20s. Yeah, 20. So what made you join the military?
At the time, I had just dropped out of college. I was cutting grass and just picked up a part-time job making pizzas. And I said, I was at the mall one day, and, being from a very small town, you're not really exposed to like being successful or like wanting more. I was completely okay and satisfied just cutting grass and making pizzas. And I ran into a Marine recruiter at the mall one day. He's like, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "I cut grass for the city of Florence." Like it was this big like ordeal. And he said, "Dude, you're never gonna amount to anything. Why don't you join the Marine Corps?" And I was offended,
I would be too.
and
You are not going to amount to nothing.
exactly.
I was a recruiter for the military.
Oh,
I was
really?
a recruiter for the Army. Yeah.
So you used to say that
For
to
6 years.
people.
I would never
Really?
say things like that. No, no.
I thought it was like a recruiting tactic.
No, I mean, I went to recruiting school, and I can tell you, they definitely don't tell you to make people feel terrible about themselves to
Well,
get in.
maybe they do in the Marine Corps. 'Cause this guy was going hard. He's like, "You need to join the Marine Corps. You're not going to amount to anything." And I said, "Dude, what are you talking about? I work for the city of Florence. I'm not joining the Marine Corps." But then after that, I started thinking about it. You know what? Damn, I make pizzas and I've cut grass. I kind of am a loser. No offense to people that cut grass and make pizzas
I'm just
out
proud of
there.
you for having a job. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, I love cutting grass. It was simple. It was low responsibility. You know, it was never life or death situations. And it was a very relaxed job. But I started thinking about it. At the time, my parents were going through a tough divorce as well. And just the stars aligned. My friend Taylor Austen, he said, "Dude, I'm going to join the Navy. Why don't you come in the office with me and we'll just hang out and we can go eat or something after?" And I said, "All right." Went to the Navy recruiting office and the Chief Thornton, looked at me. He said, "Hey, dude, you going to join the Navy?" I was like, "Nope. I don't want to join the military at all." He's like, "Okay, cool." And that was it. He didn't say anything else to me. Before I left, he handed me a pamphlet. It was a Navy SEAL pamphlet. And I looked at it. I walked away. 2 or 3 days later, I'd done research on the Navy and everything, and I went back to the recruiting office. I said, "Sign me up, get me out of here. Let me join the Navy."
That is a recruiting tactic, by the way. The fact that he gave you a pamphlet that had a Navy SEAL on the front, that's what they do. Like, when I was recruiting for the Oregon Army National Guard, we would basically give all of the kind of scrawny looking guys, like the coolest looking pamphlet possible. Like, you could be a special forces guy, and it's like, this guy's never going to cut it. He can't even carry his own body weight. You know what I mean? So, but so that's a recruiting tactic, just to make people kind of give them a picture, a North Star, if you will, of something that they can achieve.
It worked.
So it worked for you.
It worked for
but you
sure.
actually could be all of those things.
Well, so I said, I researched Navy, so I didn't even know what it was. And I was like, "Well, this looks cool." I went to Chief Thornton. I said, "Hey, I want to be Navy SEAL." He said, "Okay." He sent me to MEPS, Military Entrance Processing Station. And they said, "You don't qualify for your eyesight. What else do you want to be?" I said, "I want to be a Navy diver." And well, actually they gave me like 2 or 3 options. And they're like, "Which one looks the coolest?" And I was like, "Navy diver." And they said, "Okay." I said, "I have a big fear of the water. Maybe this will help me conquer my fear of the water." So I signed up for Navy dive. And for the next 7 months, I took the physical screening tests probably 2 or 3 times a week to try to get scores high enough to qualify for Navy diver. And November 2013, I did. I shipped off to boot camp.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I think right before we started filming, you also told me that you just did a swim, right, across a large body of water.
It was a pretty large body of water. In 2021, I believe, it was a Navy SEAL swim across the Hudson Bay.
Wow.
Yeah, there are about anywhere between 100 to 200 Navy SEAL, former Navy SEAL, or service guys that do the swim, and I was one of many that completed the swim.
I got dive certified a few years ago, and I had to take the course twice because I was chicken.
Really?
Because when you like, they go through an exercise where you knock your mask off,
Yes.
and you're obviously underwater at this
Yes.
point, right? And then you have to like bring it back around, clear it. That was so hard for me. It freaked me out. I mean, I literally would like jet up to the surface to get air instead of just being calm and keeping my mind right and clearing out my mask like I was supposed to. That was hard.
It's one of the toughest things. Like, water is the great separator. When you take away people's oxygen, they don't like it too much.
Yeah. That's how you really know you're getting your mind right. So you're in the military. You go through all your cool schools, and you're in. Tell me what life was like for you. Were you local? Did you go overseas?
Yeah, I started out, I went through Navy dive. I didn't pass through the pipeline, and I was re-rated to Master at Arms. And from there, I was on hold in Chicago, and then I went to Lackland, Texas for about 7 or 8 weeks and went through MAA school. That's where I got OC sprayed, trained with the mock moves and a little bit of different naval security things. And then I went over to Bahrain. Bahrain was a different story. It was like, I got there in the peak summertime. It was like 130 degrees when I stepped out. It was like a hair dryer. And standing gate for 12, 13, 14 hours. I mean, there are sailors still over there right now standing gate. And it was miserable and it was brutal. Bahrain was a lot of fun though. I was experiencing different cultures and different ethnicities. You know, I'm from Alabama, primarily 99% white people over there. And I was meeting, you know, people from Kenya and the Philippines and India and Afghanistan and Saudi Arabia, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I would say that's
People.
one of the coolest things about being in the military is even like just going to boot camp. When I went to boot camp, I went to South Carolina. I was in Fort Jackson. And I mean, I grew up in England. And then when I moved to the United States, I was really young. I was like 16, 17. And I went to, my mom moved to Grants Pass, Oregon, which is like this really tiny little town in Oregon. And it's all white people. And so my first experience being in mixed cultures, mixed diversities, et cetera, was going to basic training. And that was a big shock for me, just in terms of people's cultures and styles are so different, communication styles, leadership styles. It's just a lot all at once. But I was so thankful I had that experience when I was 17 because it kind of set me up for just being more of a global citizen growing up. But that's what I love about the military is you get these really cool experiences.
So you moved to the UK, you moved to the US when you were 17? You don't have any of your accent?
I know. So, well, to be clear, my mother moved to the United States when I was 6 because my parents split up. She moved to the US and married an American guy. And I had been back and forth as I was growing up. So I would like come here for summers. I did a little bit of school here as well, but I went to school as well in England. And then I officially finally moved here formally and got my American citizenship through the military after joining when I was 17.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so back and forth. So what was the worst part about...
Worst part of the Navy?
Worst part of the Navy, yeah.
Oh, goodness. Having your friends die.
Ugh. Way to go, like, right. I'm like, what's the worst part? You're like, let me just go right for the jugular here.
I don't like to fluff it up. I mean...
Yeah, that is a terrible part. That aside, which of course is traumatic in itself and warrants a whole deep dive conversation on its own. Besides losing the people to your left and right, for you, what were the hardest parts? Because you went through some crazy stuff.
The hardest parts on a more lighter note would probably be you're constantly moving around and having to adapt like all the time. Like you could think that you're going on a deployment or staying like in Lemoore, California, for example. And the next 2 days later, oh, you're going on a deployment on a ship for 7 months. Constantly like being tossed and turned and thrown around and going needs of the Navy. It's a hard lifestyle.
Yeah.
Everything from every single day, like sleep, like, okay, somebody didn't show up for watch. Well, we need you. You're getting a call at 02, having to stand the 02 to 6 watch, interfering with your sleep. And
that's 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. for non-military folks. Yeah.
The worst shift, 2 to 6.
Yeah. Did you have a relationship while you were in the military, the girlfriend or anything like that?
I did.
Was that hard?
I had about 15 of them. And
that's the way to do it, though. I mean, well, all jokes aside, I mean, it is so hard. This is definitely a really common theme of conversation. Like, just trying to have like a normal life of any kind. To your point about getting tossed around needs of the Navy, when you have a partner, wife, spouse, whatever, it's really, really hard to maintain that. And
it is tough.
yeah, I mean, the military spouses are so important, and of course, we're also grateful for them. But that is so hard on families. So it's probably a good thing that you were so young when you joined and hadn't quite settled down.
I believe I was in 3 relationships in the Navy at the same time. No, I'm just kidding, not at the same time. So I
hope that they all watch this. Girls, message me. I'll spill the tea with you.
So I'm single now, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I was with primarily 2 women over the course of 7 years. And one was a 5-year relationship, one was a 2-year relationship when I first joined.
Those are long for being in the military. Those are long.
Yeah, I'm not the type to just like bounce around everywhere, I mean, everybody has their own individual preference, but I was with a woman named Sarah for the last 5 years. We recently broke up last year.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. I'm over it now. I'm sorry. Your producer's laughing in the background, but yeah. So 5 years. We met when I was on an assignment in Fallon, Nevada, and we were together for pretty much the last 3-4 years of my military career, and then a few years after. And then now I'm just a single guy.
Well, you're getting it, that's for sure, in terms of crushing your goals and dreams and doing amazing things. What was the best part about being in the Navy for you?
Best part, just meeting some of the best people
I
have ever met in my entire life. Just anybody that I can you know, if I haven't spoken to them in 3 or 4 years, I could call them right now and they would answer. I did it the other day to a friend of mine named Wes Zielinski. Just being there and having to suffer through just typical military things it builds a whole new bond.
Yeah.
And
Brotherhood. Sisterhood. Yeah.
Yes. And it's just some relationships that I'm very thankful for.
Well, in terms of getting out, what made you decide at 7 years you were going to get out? Was that the length of your contracts? I know they have different lengths, but 7 years is kind of an oddball number.
When I signed off as Navy diver, I had a 6-year active obligatory service date. And when I signed on, when I reclassed as MA, they didn't change that date. So I basically had, you know, went from a 6 to potentially a 4, but still it was written in my paperwork to be a 6. So my last duty station in Seal Beach, California, I did 2 years, which put me at 6 years. And they said, do you want to extend? So when I extended for that obla serve or whatever it was, then that put me at 7 years. And Seal Beach was my last command. And now I'll go into why I got out.
Yeah, I would love to hear it. Okay. Yeah, please. Perfect transition.
I got out because in 2018, I started posting on YouTube and just creating videos and instructional, like how to increase your push-ups, how to get a faster mile time, how to increase your sit-ups, how to get abs for the summertime. A lot of fitness and military type videos. And throughout 2018, 2019, 2020, it really grew. And in 2020, the Navy said, oh, it's time to re-enlist. And I said, no, I don't think I want to. I think I'm going to get out.
Were you monetizing at that point on YouTube?
Yes. In 2018, I became obsessed with posting on YouTube. I had always loved creating video. I did a little video for my high school and created little stupid action figure videos when I was like 11 or 12 with my mom's camera. So it was always an interest for me and a passion. I just love showing people my work and my videos and having them either laugh or cry or smile or whatever, just evoking any type of emotion. So I started creating videos in 2018 to do that. And by the end of 2018, I got my first paycheck from YouTube, and it was $31.
$31. Yes. Don't spend it all in one place, would you?
Yes. $31. It was, I looked at it, I said, oh, that's cool. And I put it in the bank and that's it. I never really realized that you could make a living from YouTube at all. And I just kept posting because I loved it. And in 2019, I believe I maxed my Navy salary. And in 2020, I think I had...
In 1 year, you went from $31 to matching your Navy salary?
Because
that's amazing.
My Navy salary was probably $5,000 a month, like $65,000 a year.
That's incredible.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's if you can really snag the YouTube algorithm and learn how to do it and then just repeat it with different videos, you can do very well. I was getting paid about $4,000 to $5,000 for every million views. And every month, you know, it was different. 1 month was 500,000 views in 2019. 1 month was 4 million views. 1 month was, I think my top month in 2019 was like $16,000. And for me, like seeing this money that I'm earning part-time doing something that I absolutely love, it was crazy. I didn't touch it. I was scared. I was like, this has got to be not my money. This is either belongs to the IRS or I don't know. Maybe YouTube is just paying me accidentally, but I just kind of left it. And I didn't have any expenses at all.
Wow.
Like I was doing everything myself.
Did so you taught yourself to edit?
Yes.
How'd you learn to edit?
I just said, I'm going to make this video. And I pulled up Premiere Pro. My first video I made was in 2017. I was very inconsistent with it back then. 2018 is the year I became consistent. But 2017, I got a pirated version of Adobe Premiere Pro. Hopefully the FBI is not watching this.
Adobe, you better come get this guy.
I pay for it now, Adobe, and me and you guys are cool. But I pirated a version because we didn't have internet on the ship, and I edited my first video on the ship, just teaching myself really basic cuts and music and everything.
So you weren't really a sailor, you were a pirate at this point.
Basically, yeah. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
I was a pirate.
That's my mom joke for the day.
It was really good.
Thank you. Okay, so you're editing, you're doing your whole shtick on your own, completely self-taught. Did you have anybody in your circle that was doing this, or did you just decide, I'm just going to try out YouTube? Or did you watch YouTube?
I watched YouTube all the time. There were 2 to 3 primary YouTubers that were doing it also in the Navy. JT Suits, Donnie Klein, and Nikki, MGTV. And we were all kind of like starting at the same time. And JT had, over 100,000 subscribers. So I looked at his content for inspiration because I said, this guy's active. If he can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah.
And I remember when I passed 5,000 subscribers, I actually went down to San Diego to meet Donnie. He was the other YouTuber, So I did have people to kind of bounce ideas off of. That's something very important about, like, if you're in a niche or if you're doing something in business or whatever, finding someone that you can lean on and rely on for information. And that's what I realized early on. That's what I did.
Wow. And so, one of my questions for you, just in terms of how the Navy felt about this, did they know you were doing this? Or?
Oh, I was investigated by NCIS.
That's what I was going to ask, because when I was in, which I think it's different now because social media is so much more accepted. In fact, there's several people. Have you seen? I'm going to butcher his name, and I'm going to feel really bad about it. But Buttersworth or whatever.
Tyler.
Yeah. So like he just got reassigned from being a recruiter to working full time in social media for the military, which is amazing. But that's not always how it used to be. Before, it was like, you better be clear that you're not associated with the Department of Defense. You have to be really careful. You have to have your videos reviewed, all of that. So what was that like for you?
So it all started with, I reached out to a ship in San Diego and I wanted to play hide and go seek on it. It was going to be an infotainment video where we would show the inside of a Navy ship, but still at the same time, we would be playing hide and seek on it. I had been on tons of ships and aircraft carriers and whatnot, but I just wanted my viewers to see it. When I reached out to them, they said no, and then they reported my channel to the command or at Seal Beach, Naval Weapons Station Seal Beach or something like that. And then I get a call from lieutenant, said, "Hey, my name is Lieutenant so-and-so," name redacted for,
that's totally
OPSEC purposes.
We'll bleep it out anyway.
And he said, "Hey, I don't want to do this, but I have to put you under investigation for your YouTube channel and additional monetary gain."
Were you freaking out at this point?
I was. I was like, I'm going to get investigated. I'm going to get thrown in the brig.
They're going to take all your money?
Well, that wasn't the worst part. Like, I happen to think if something happens, I attach my brain to worst case scenario. That way, if something else better happens, I feel better. So I was like, I'm going to get thrown in the brig, and they're going to take me down to Guantanamo Bay and lock me up. And so that's what I was thinking. The way he made it sound, it was like you're going down with the U.S. government. Like, it was bad. So, and of course, if anybody's getting investigated by NCIS, they're not going to be happy about it. It's a very uncomfortable feeling, them having to go back in your history and your internet search, everything. And I was very confident that I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was like, take whatever you need, like my computer, editing, bank account details, and they took all of it.
What's so crazy about this is that you were posting these videos. They can see exactly what you're up to. Exactly. So it doesn't make any sense why they needed to have a behind the scenes look. I mean, I need to know more, like whatever you can share. Like, this is crazy.
I remember, so they retracted just items like, what is this in the background? And what is this? Like, it was me holding a tub of protein, and like, were you receiving additional funds for these? And what are you making on YouTube? Like, everything. And I just gave it all to him, and it was 2 or 3 weeks later with nothing, just radio silence.
Wow.
And I was waking up every day like, hope I don't go to jail today.
Yeah.
Hope I don't go to jail today.
Wow.
And finally, it went from, in my head, worst case scenario to best possible scenario, like ever. We get a call at the Harbor Patrol that we have a surprise visit from an admiral, which, in a command or harbor with like 35 people, getting a visit from an admiral, usually not a good thing.
Right.
So I'm thinking, okay, he's coming here for me, and they're going to take me off and take me to, You
were probably sweating bullets at this point.
I was nervous because, normally, like, everyday life, it's kind of like about survival of the fittest. Like, unless you're not breaking the law, you're good. But if the military has you and something doesn't go your way, it can be very wrong. They can literally restrict your food and water, and just give you bread.
Right.
Throw you in the brig, make you do EMI. Like, and I've seen some crazy
EMI?
Extra military instruction. So if you get punished, you could like go mop the rain off of the sidewalk or like something stupid while it's raining,
And they can dock your pay.
They can literally take your money away.
We talked about this in an episode, in one of my other episodes about UCMJ, so Uniform Code of Military Justice. Yeah, it's so different to the civilian side law enforcement process, and yeah, they can do some wild things with you. So I'm sure you were just so worried. So what happened? So you go meet this admiral.
Yeah. So the admiral comes here, and we're getting boat logs ready. We're cleaning the boats. Like we have to come in at like 06 for all this stuff, and then he rolls up in a few black Suburbans, and tension on deck. We all call attention on deck. Even my chiefs and our SECO was there, and a bunch of warrant officers, and everybody came down from landside. And he said, hey, calm down, everybody relax, everybody chill out. He said, I'm just here to see MA2 Alexander. He's like front and center, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. So I'm coming out in front of.
You're like handcuffs.
Yeah, I'm like, just go ahead and take me.
And
he said, dude, I've been watching your videos for the past year or so, and I love your videos.
Oh my gosh, for the past year. So you had been under investigation for a few weeks. They had been watching you for a year?
I guess he didn't know that I was in investigation until it was passed up to CHINFO office, Chief of Information for the Navy.
How many subscribers did you have at this point?
I think I probably had 50,000, 60,000.
That's not a small deal. That's a big deal. Okay.
It was getting some reach. I was talking about military pay. I was talking about fitness. Like I love the Navy, and I was shining a positive light on the Navy, like saying, hey, the Navy's changed my life. And it's the reason why I'm out here in California, driving a boat, just having a great time, serving my country. And it was never, I always like to think positively, and my videos reflect that. I was never like, oh, it's time to get up because I'm in the Navy. It was basically marketing the Navy. And he said, keep doing what you're doing. I love what you're doing. He shook my hand, and he gave me the CHINFO coin from Admiral Brown.
And so for those of you at home that don't know this, challenge coins are something that a lot of leaders will give out to service members when they're being recognized for something, when they've achieved something. So it sounds like you got a challenge coin.
Yes, I got a challenge coin.
It's amazing.
And there had been, a few chiefs in the command and the security saying, hey, you don't need to be posting that. And after that, nobody could tell me anything.
Wow.
I remember he gave me his email, and he said, if you have any issues with anybody, tell them to send me an email. And 2 or 3 weeks later, I was down in San Diego, and I had this chief approached me. He said, hey, I've seen your videos. Like, how are you able to, he said, you're wearing a tan belt. You weren't overseas. I mean, technically I was in Bahrain, Expeditionary Command. Just all these small things, like just getting picked apart. And I said, Chief, with all due respect, if you have anything that you would like to, talk to me about, then just send Admiral Brown an email and let him know. And when I said that, he was kind of like, what the heck? So it felt very empowering to have CHINFO and the Admiral on my side.
Wow. So, okay. So all this time passes. You've done your 7 years. You get out. You, at this point, had created income for yourself. So it was probably a little bit of an easier transition. So what was it like leaving, actually like truly taking off the uniform, setting it aside and exiting? What was that like for you?
It was tough. It was very tough. I went from, putting on this great uniform for the United States of America every single day to getting out and making videos. Videos sometimes is not the most fulfilling thing ever. I had a very fulfilling job. I went from not fulfilling. It didn't matter if I was making $2 million a month. I just felt a sense of purposelessness, being a part of this great team and now just being a team of one. And on the finance side, I was probably making, I don't know, 10 grand a month from YouTube and sponsorships. When I got out, I realized that I had to pay myself from that. And as well as I hired an editor, I had business expenses, and I just leased a parcel of land, in which we'll talk about here in a second. It was Battle Bunker. So I had taken on $10,000+ of expenses. I had a little money in the bank, but I was in the red the first 5-6 months that I was out of the Navy just because I didn't know how to properly manage cash flow and expenses.
I got another mom joke for you.
Yes. Let's hear it, Mom.
You were a fish out of water.
Yes, I was. Because I was in the Navy?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it's maybe a bad one. Look, I'm going to try them out, okay?
No,
We're
it's
just
okay.
going to throw them in.
It's
if
a
they
mom joke.
stick, it's like spaghetti. We'll see if it sticks, okay?
The first one stuck.
Thank you.
I'm
That one's a
still
little
thinking
okay. Well,
about
you
that
were a
one.
fish out of water. So I
Yes.
think one of the things that people don't prepare for when they leave the military, which is what I'm trying to help change for them, is getting yourself right while you're in, taking advantage of all of the programs and services and things like that, and the planning tools. So when you actually leave the military, you're landing on your feet. Because when you're in the service, it sounds like in your scenario too, you're getting your housing paid for, your clothes are paid for, right? You're wearing the same thing every single day. You can go down to the chow hall and you got your meals, right? I mean, so everything's kind of done for you. And so when you leave the service, you're leaving that safety net, you're leaving that career development, leadership. And I think probably in your case, you went from having this as like a side gig where it was like almost a hobby for you to it now becoming your full-time thing where you are 100% reliant on yourself.
Yes.
So going back to that moment, is there anything you would have done differently to set yourself up for success?
Yeah, there's a difference in doing something for fun and doing something because it's your job. Like you could absolutely love it, but when you turn it into your job, sometimes it's not the most enjoyable. And I experienced the same with YouTube. Like I never attached myself to the views. I kind of just made videos that I liked. But now being out and full time, you have to perform or you're gonna go homeless.
Yeah.
You know, simple as that. And that's something I didn't properly prepare myself for. I don't think, in my opinion, you can't perfectly prepare yourself for the outside world. It's gonna sting and it's gonna burn a little bit, and some days are not gonna be the best. But as long as you keep optimizing that and your daily schedule, like for me, it was an anchor. If you establish an anchor point in your day, like my anchor is walking my dogs and drinking water. It's the first thing I do every single morning when I wake up. Even when I'm traveling, I don't walk the dogs, but I go drink water. It helps establish that routine. It helps keep up that momentum to keep going forward. So that's what I would recommend to a transitioning service member is find your anchor. It can be the gym. It can be walking your dogs. It can be calling your mom. It can be saying hello to your spouse or your partner. It can be drinking water. It can be going for a walk in the sunlight. Establish an anchor, and everything else tends to line up after that.
Yeah, I love that. I absolutely love that. So if you were back at you said you were 20 when you joined the military,
20, yeah,
would you do it again?
for sure.
Okay.
100%.
I love that.
Not even a question.
Wow. Mental health wise, obviously that's a really big topic. It impacts a lot of service members, especially that transition period you're talking about. Did you struggle at all in any way, shape, or form?
I did.
Tell me a little bit about that.
It was this weird feeling where when you're in the military, you feel like a part of something. You're on this train and you have a common mission and common goal in your command and in your branches. And when you get out, you kind of just hop off this train and it feels like you go from 200 miles an hour to 0 miles an hour. And you're kind of just sitting there. Sometimes you feel purposeless. Sometimes you feel like you don't have a goal or an objective. And if it's one thing that's not good on the human brain, it's the feeling of worthlessness. So I experienced that. For me, when I was getting out, I was building an obstacle course. I built it on terminal leave. I called it the battle bunker. And I didn't know at the time, but I was using that as a way to feel like I had purpose. I would go out there every single day. I'd drive 2.5 hours from Anaheim, California, out to this obstacle course and build it. And to be honest, it took me 44 days, but most days I went out there and I would just sit in my truck. It was like, I would just sleep. I was like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this.
Wow.
But I made that drive because it felt like I had to keep being a part of something. For me, that was Battle Bunker.
What about community? Did you, obviously we talked a little bit about this already with you kind of going from having a full-time job where you're around other people, your side gig, and then now you're doing your side gig full-time and it's a one-man show. So what about community? How did you rebuild that on the outside?
I was lucky enough to make some really good friends around in the California area in Seal Beach and Camp Pendleton. And when I got off of terminal leave, we produced our first video at the Battle Bunker obstacle course. It was with a few of my friends. Matt McDonough, Angel, Francisco Camarce was out there, Sean Fitzpatrick, just involving myself with them, and it gave me a sense of purpose. I said, we're going to do this. We'd go out there and film videos, and my good friend and videographer now, Ivan Ivanov, was out there with me. So I did have a little bit of community, some that didn't know what I was going through, some that did know what I was going through. But that, every single day and having a finding a common goal and common purpose, just like in the military, helped me out a ton.
Are there any, you've worked with so many branches at this point and, definitely different partnerships through your content that you've created. Is there any nonprofits or anything like that that you've found that you feel are helpful to service members?
Yes, for sure. Children of Fallen Patriots is one. And then we have the Rolling Remembrance campaign every year for PepsiCo. We support a lot of nonprofits and a lot of charities. And with that, you really have to do your research and like the actual funds that are going towards the actual purpose of the nonprofit and the charity. And Children of Fallen Patriots is a great one.
Amazing. So if you were not going to be this amazing content creator that you became, what would you have done?
Definitely, I would have went into LAHD.
What's that?
Los Angeles Harbor Division.
Really?
I'd be driving a boat.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Actually, so when I got out, the stress from having to create and be this entrepreneur was so great that I had established contacts over there. And I said, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to get a job at LAHD, make this amount of money, and just be on the harbor. I had all the experience necessary to be that. But so far, it's working out great.
Nice. Do you live by the ocean now?
No, I live in East Lake in Chula Vista, San Diego.
Cool.
It's about 20 minutes away from the ocean.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many people that are in the military down in Southern California that just never leave, like being that close to the water. It's kind of comforting for so many people. Okay. So tell me a little bit about, you've got some really cool things that you're working on. So you've mentioned the battle bunker a little bit. I want to know more about this Operation Good Boy.
Yes. Operation Good Boy. I've been becoming well acquainted with the company and the founder, Tom, over the last year. And in December, I came into the company. Isn't that crazy how your brain just kind of stops for a second? I came into the company as a chief branding officer and co-founder. And Operation Good Boy has this incredible mission. I love dogs. Everyone over there at the team loves dogs. And we sell treats, gear, and toys and supplements catered towards military canines, military veterans. And we give back to lots of nonprofits and charities, including the Atlanta Canine Foundation and probably about 12 or 13 others, military working dog kennels and charities across the United States.
Wow.
And I love it. I love the team over there, and we have a great mission.
Wow. Okay. Incredible. And then HyberCon Games. Am I saying that right?
Yes, HyberCon. HyberCon. So I know I'm everywhere here. Like,
no, I love
co-founder
this.
of a pet brand.
Yeah.
The most hardcore hybrid fitness competition in the entire planet. That's the HyberCon Games.
Okay, tell me more about it. What do you guys do?
So I'll backtrack a little bit. When I was building Battle Bunker, a guy named Hunter McIntyre, he's, done the World's Toughest Marathon. He's current High Rocks world record champion. I think he got world record for fastest marathon for anyone over 210 pounds. He's crazy. I'm actually going to his house after this. He approached me. He said, dude, I love the obstacle course. Let's find some way to partner. And him and I established the HyberCon Games. HyberCon stands for hybrid conditioning. Hybrid is not new, but it's an evolving wave of fitness that does not include gymnastics or handstand walking. It's kind of like CrossFit meets OCR. Lots of heavy events, lots of endurance events, swimming, biking, running. And that's what HyberCon Games is geared towards. It's geared towards the hybrid athlete. We give away around $30,000 in cash every year. This is our third year running it.
Wow.
And we have some of the best athletes from across the entire world. Mexico, France, Australia, United Kingdom, United States. It's a lot of fun.
Wow, this is an international endeavor.
It is. They all fly over here to go through a 2 or 3 day competition in Chula Vista. We house them, we feed them, and then we challenge them like no other.
Wow. That's so incredible. And so if somebody's just getting started on their fitness journey, because one of the things I love about your content is that you're so motivating. What's your advice to people that are just getting started?
I would say you don't try to start all these variables at one time. You have to claim a process that is repeatable and consistent. So if I was like, oh, I want to run a marathon, I'm not going to go run a marathon. Typically, I've done some running before, but like if I was going to recommend, someone came to me and said, I want to run a 5K, I would say build up to it. Implement small things in your day that you can do every single day consistently that are going to build up and lead you on the path to run that 5K. Same thing with lifting or getting stronger. You can't just say, okay, go to the gym 45 minutes, do 10 minutes of cardio, eat 200 grams of protein, drink a gallon of water. Like as soon as you put all these variables on people, it's going to get mixed up in their head and they're not going to complete it. So implement one variable. After you've made that consistent, add another. After you've made that consistent, add another.
I love that. I've been talking to so many people recently about just like not eating the whole pie at once.
Yes.
And that applies to everything, right? I mean, at work, you got a big project, at your house, you got your whole house to clean, right? Like you just do one room at a time. If the room is overwhelming, just do one counter or one corner at the time, right? So just break it down into a bite-sized kind of thing. And on that front, you've been through so many courses with so many of the different military branches where you've kind of gotten a flavor for how all of them operate. Some really tough courses. I mean, the Special Forces trial that you did, that alone, I think that the mindset kind of plays into that as well.
For sure.
Yeah. You coach and you teach on mindset all the time. Is there any kind of broad or main theme that you instill in others that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, it's breaking it down into things that are mentally digestible. If you can mentally digest it, chances are your body will follow. And just like on the marathon, like my mentors, they say just one foot in front of the other. It's kind of the same thing. If I'm thinking about the entire thing, like at the start line, if I'm thinking about every single mile that I have to complete, it's very overwhelming. So I just kind of tuned that out and I said, just focus on the next mile marker. For me, it was the next mile marker. Made it to 1, made it to 2. Before you know it, you're looking at 16, 17, 18, 19. They just keep coming. So whatever you're doing, if you're on your fitness journey or if you're starting a business, break it down into very digestible pieces that your brain can understand and you can stay consistent with.
Love that. One of the things that made me laugh when I was checking out some content for you over the last 2 days was that
feet?
What about feet?
Never mind.
No,
wait.
I'm going to put a pin in my question. What about the feet?
Okay, so I censor my feet all the time on Instagram.
You do?
Just because I think it's funny. And when
we need to like pull them out right now? Like,
I mean, we can pull them out.
Pull the curtain back and like show people your feet? That's your sock.
I have a sock. Yeah, I can't do feet. You can't just expose me like that, Amy.
Well, I was hoping, that maybe
out.
You'd let me be the first to expose
after the
feet
podcast,
online.
I'll show you. I'll show you the feet.
If you guys see a photo inserted in here, it's because I got a sneaky one, and I'm gonna.
Yes.
I think that's like the TMZ story of the year right here. Is what are your feet like?
Well, I mean, I just started posting it because it was funny, and I would censor them because I thought it was
now
funny.
it's a thing?
But then people started freaking out, and they're like, "Dude, where are your feet?
Oh my gosh,
Dude, show us your feet." I'm like, why are you guys so adamant about seeing my feet?
Do you want to do like a I'll show you mine, you show me your thing? I'll pull out my feet if you pull out yours.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Let's do it.
Wait.
Let's do it. It's okay. Charlie's down here too. Why?
Okay, I'll show you my mistletoe.
Wait, what's a mistletoe?
It's a tattoo that I have on my foot.
Okay.
Are we showing feet?
Yeah, we're showing feet. You legit have, oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Should I show that in the camera?
Yeah, show it. Can we get it on that team?
Okay, if you look to the side, can't believe I'm doing this.
This is
It's a
like
missile.
groundbreaking.
Oh, if we can zoom in on the main camera.
This is groundbreaking. We're getting a real view of the feet. Here, you've got mine. Can we get
There it is.
Are we
there it
good?
is.
I'm looking at the
Zoom into that
producers.
missile right there, baby. There we go. Yep.
Wow. Did that hurt getting a tattoo right there?
Yes, it was on my bone.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Okay, now zoom in on Amy's feet.
yeah, I got cute feet actually.
Oh,
Listen,
nice.
I got a really funny story to tell you really quick.
This piggy went to market.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
I liked that. That was a good
dad
one.
joke?
It is a close to a dad joke. Yeah. Can you see my feet? Oh, right here. Wait, down.
Nice. Tickle,
Yeah.
tickle.
I actually have cute feet. I'm not gonna lie. There we go.
People are
Look
going
how
to
cute they are.
screenshot those.
Thank God I got a pedicure recently. Can you imagine
Yeah,
if I
thank
had not?
goodness.
Like, I would be embarrassed. I don't know that I would have challenged you to a foot off if I had not just had a pedicure.
We'll have a foot wrestling match after this.
Have you seen those photos roaming around where it's like people like interlacing their toes? Like, if we're not this close,
Yes.
I don't want that kind of relationship.
Yeah.
That's
There are a
the
lot
kind
of
of vibes I'm bringing right now.
There are a lot of like people have foot fetishes, and some people hate feet, some people hate toes. Like I'm just like whatever, feet are feet.
No, so I have to tell you, this is a real story. So about 2 years ago, I was doing some like casting stuff, and on Facebook, I'm part of this casting group here in LA for like commercials and things like that. And this guy reached out to me and was like, "Hey, you totally give me Margot Robbie vibes." That's his words, not mine. Oh, by the way, everyone, this is Charlie. Meet Charlie Dog. Thank you for your appearance, Charlie. So glad you could make us make the show today. This is my dog, Charlie.
My dog now.
Yeah, apparently he chose you. I love that he chose you and not even me. I'm sitting right here and he's completely abandoned me.
What's up, buddy?
Traitor. But so this guy reached out to me and was like, hey, I want you to test out for this commercial. You're giving me Margot Robbie vibes, this whole 9 yards. Here's a script. And so I like go into like full on prep mode. I have my girlfriend come over. We film like a test for it, the whole thing. And I go to submit it and he's like, okay, great. You're going to get the part. Here's another script. And what I need you to do is I need you to have your feet up on the couch, no socks on. I started getting like red flag vibes, right? This guy was straight up like just trying to get videos and photo of my feet.
Oh, he wasn't a real casting.
It wasn't a real casting guy. He was just trying to get photos of my feet.
Wow, that's smooth.
It is smooth, but that's a real thing here in LA. People do weird stuff. Charlie, you got to sit down, bro.
The foot thing. Like, what do feet do for people? No offense to people with foot fetishes out there.
Yeah.
No
I mean, everyone's got their
there,
flavor, right? Everyone's got their flavor.
Yeah.
Well, I love that we just were able to let everybody in on
our feet,
what your feet absolutely look like. Yes. I can't promise that I'm not going to take screenshots of that and blast it all over social media.
You can use that. Now people think there's something wrong with my feet. There's really not. I just do it because people ask and it kind of weirds me out.
But you actually have like, to say that you've done so much rucking, you just ran a marathon, your feet are in pretty good nick.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you got great feet.
I take care of them. I wear great shoes.
But what I was going to say, though, is I watched your content for those watching this later on in the year. Right now, it's St. Patrick's Day, and there's a marathon going on outside, and people have been celebrating all week. You drive around in a van, which is called the Battle Bus.
Battle Bus, yeah.
Tell me about the Battle Bus.
So the Battle Bus, we started about 2.5 years ago. I noticed the rise in popularity for short form content, and me as a content creator having to constantly like monitor that. I said, you know what? I think it would be cool if I bought a van, a creepy van, and wrapped it green and just drove around and let people do pull-ups on the back of it. So that's exactly what I did. I bought a van, I wrapped it green, we put a pull-up bar on the back, and we started going to local gyms and like, hey, I'll give you $1 for every pull-up.
Has anyone called you a meathead before?
Oh, all the time, every day.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So like, what is the motivation for doing that?
So we share the videos online.
Okay.
And I'm always constructive. I'm never making fun of people, never putting people down. Like, I'm like, please, if you come try, like, you're showing people out there that they can step out of their comfort zone.
Love this.
And in front of the camera with a performance and the stakes involved, like it's a lot for people to come out of the comfort zone. For some people it's easy. They just bang out 10 pull-ups. But we share the videos online. It's a really inspiring series. And we've gone to Marine Corps bases and Navy bases and one of the most popular gyms in the world, Gold's Gym Venice. And we have met some very interesting characters, and it's been a very successful series, about almost 3 billion views total.
Wow.
On the entire series.
Wow, that's so amazing. So you have so many adventures going on. I mean, between Operation Good Boy, the Battle Bus, Battle Bunker, and your HyperCon games, what is the goal for you? Like, where are you trying to go?
I like to stay busy, and I like to have my hands involved with the community, and especially veteran community. Everything I do is in the veteran community space, whether it's Operation Good Boy or Battle Bunker Bus. I mean, our van is wrapped camo green, the Battle Bunker and the HyperCon games. I just want to continue enjoying what I do. I mean, obviously, a lot of entrepreneurs are like, oh, I want to build and scale to $100 billion. I don't really have a plan for that. I would love to build out and franchise Battle Bunker gyms, which is what we're currently looking at right now. But I'm just happy to be alive, and I absolutely love what I do every single day.
Wow, that's so powerful. Well, where can people find you?
Well, right now I'm in your studio.
Yeah. Literally right now.
Was that a
Come
good
find
dad
us.
joke?
We're at the studio,
Okay.
please.
So they can find me on OnlyFans. If you just go.
Do you really have an OnlyFans?
No, I don't know.
Oh, I was going to be
That's
like, this
another
is
joke.
amazing.
Don't take me serious, y'all.
Signing up right now. Take my credit card details.
After the feet stuff, I may have an OnlyFans.
You should have an Only Feet. Like, that's a thing. There's literally like foot fetish websites.
Feetfinder.com.
If you see your content and your feet on there, it's not me profiting off of your feet, I promise.
Okay, that's wildly specific, but I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yes. So, excuse me. So YouTube is Austen Alexander. Instagram's at Austen Alex. Battle Bus is at Battle Bunker Bus. And I run and manage 11 or 12 pages every single day. So chances are they can find me somewhere. But my main Instagram is Austen Alex, AUSTEN.
Okay, amazing. And then just because I know I'm going to have so many people messaging me about this after, what is one tip that you would give somebody who wants to create content just like you one day?
Find something that you're Let me redo that. Something. My Alabama accent's coming out.
Something. No. From now on, we're both going to talk with country accents.
All right. So find something that you're absolutely passionate about and create on that. Some people say, oh, a lot of money is in the food space, and they start creating cooking videos and they suck at it and they can't stay consistent because they don't enjoy it. That's what a lot of content creators run into. For me, fitness is my passion. Everything that I do, everything that I make content about is about fitness or mental health. So find something that you're passionate about. When you're passionate about creating it, you don't look at the numbers. It's tough when you spend 20, 25, 30 hours on a production and nobody watches it. But if you enjoy the final product, that's a variable that you can mentally latch onto instead of the viewership.
Love that. Okay. And then one last question.
Yes.
If somebody's in crisis mentally, what's one tip you would give them to help pull themselves out?
Immediately, I would say take a deep breath in, 8-10 seconds in, 8-10 seconds out. This will help you methodically think about what's happening and think about best case scenario, think about worst case scenario. A lot of times if you're going through anxiety, like if I was sitting here and I was anxious about something, what is the worst case scenario that can happen right now? Maybe like you throwing a microphone at me. It's not life or death. So that helps me when I was going through tough times last year. That helped me a lot. Kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Methodically think about why I'm anxious and how to steer away from that anxiety. Anxiety and depression, it comes in many different forms. It can be you're anxious about meeting someone, or you're anxious or depressed about someone in your life leaving. So everybody's situation is different, but the first thing that I do is try to take a deep, deep breath in and then a deep, deep breath out. Some things that I did additionally is cold plunging. Like if you can create a feeling in your body that's calming or relaxing, like rub your fingertips together, rub your legs, rub your head, have someone else rub your shoulder. I mean, it's a very, very calming feeling.
Rub your feet.
Rub your feet. Yeah, I was trying not to be funny during this serious conversation, but
that's okay. We need a little humor around here.
Yes. So that's something that I would do immediately.
Okay. Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. Yes. Obviously, our goal around here is to help veterans, and I think we're going to definitely do just that today. So really appreciate you. Everyone go follow, like, subscribe to Austen Alexander. He is so amazing. And go and like and subscribe on my page. Share, hit that subscribe button. Cannot wait to see you in the comment section and engage, and see you on the flip side. Have a great day. See you guys later. Bye.